If you've ever wanted to use QR codes to be able to add items to orders, or let's say pieces to a pallet that you're getting ready to ship, you can use QuickBase's scanning function, whether it be barcode or QR code, to be able to select those items and relate them back to a pallet. Now this is an example application, and you can see here I've got a pallet 8527 going to Versa Leather, and these are the items that have been scanned into that particular pallet. And you can summarize up the weight of the items. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do with that idea. Down below here, you can see this pallet doesn't have anything in it yet. And this is an example application where pallets have piece selections and pieces are pulled into this selection. And that's what the QR code is going to do for us here. Now I've got an opened up application here, and this is just a QuickBase application. And you can see the dashboard for it. And we're going to scan a piece here on the top. Now, here's a form, and you can see there are some lookup fields that are down at the bottom. But there's two things, really. There's the scan pallet ID. And notice that this showed up over here to show a scan. And I'm going to turn that on and scan at the page. And it went very quickly, but you can see it pulled down which customer and what the shipping address is. And now I'm going to click on the scan for the piece, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to click on that code scan and find the code, and it found that it's the Roswell 1800 WIC. So I'm going to say save and add another. And this time I'm going to switch to a different part, but I'm going to scan the pallet one more time. There's our pallet. Then I'm going to scan the part, and I'll turn that on. And so we've got both of these. This is a Logitech webcam, and I'm going to save that. And if I come back into here, you'll see when I refresh the page that these items have been added to it, which we see the Logitech Brio and the Roswell inductor cooker. So how is all that coming together? Well, the real key is that we're really creating a record in the middle there, and we're pulling from pallets and we're pulling from pieces, and this is a many-to-many relationship. Let's take a look at pallets. Now, the pages that I'm scanning off are really these here. And how does this get generated from this number right here? Because this is the key field of this table, the unique pallet ID number. And if I can put that value into here, it'll link the correct pallet with the piece. So I want to use QR codes to make that happen. Well, if I click and I edit this field, you'll see that the field pallet ID is inserted into this URL string. This is a rich text field up here, a formula-rich text field. It's using Google's APIs to render what this QR code will look like, and then when somebody scans it, it actually goes to and uses that number into the reference field. So I've got that for pallets, and I've got that for pieces. Now, what would we start off with? The first thing I did was I want to print this so that I can scan them, and you probably would be printing this one per page. For labels, maybe. I'm going to click on this so you'll see what this ends up looking like. So there, I've got pages like that, and that's all I'm doing is scanning that code right there. And I did the same thing on the pieces side too. So let's see here. What other pieces am I missing here? We've got pallets, have many selections. And let's talk about the combined text to be able to bring that up. Now, all of that information lives here. If I look at this palette here, I can come down and see all the items that are added to the selection for that palette. And this information is a combined text field, which is a summary between this table and this table. So I'll go into settings. I'll come down into the relationship and click into that, and you can see combined text items. And what you can do is you can say, hey, I want to do that. I want to create the combined text of a particular field, which is called item, and then click on create. And what that'll do is it'll create this combined text item for you so that you can use that in your scanning efforts. We cover things like this in our webinars series called Office Hours, held Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. East Coast time. All people are welcome. Bring any kind of question you'd like to, and we'll dig in and build these kinds of things live. So hope to talk with you soon. Thanks.